Chapter 31. Thus saith the Lord, the people that were left of the sword have found grace in the wilderness, even Israel, when I go to cause him to rest. From afar the Lord appeared unto me. Yes, I have loved you with an everlasting love, therefore with affection have I drawn you. Again will I build you, and you shall be built, O Virgin of Israel. Again shall you be adorned with your tabrets, and shall go forth in dances of them that make merry. Again shall you plant vineyards upon the mountains of Samaria. The planters shall plant, and they shall have the use thereof. For there shall be a day that the watchman shall call upon the Mount Ephraim, Arise you, and let us go up to Zion, unto the Lord our God. For thus saith the Lord, Sing with gladness for Jacob, and shout at the head of the nations. Announce you, praise you, and say, O Lord, save your people, the remnant of Israel. Behold, I will bring them from the north country, and gather them from the uttermost parts of the earth, and with them the blind and the lame, the woman with child, and her that travaileth with child, together. A great company shall they return here. They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by rivers of waters, in a straight way wherein they shall not stumble. For I am become a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Hear the word of the Lord, O you nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, He that scattered Israel doth gather him, and keep him, as a shepherd doth his flock. For the Lord hath ransomed Jacob, and he redeemeth him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. And they shall come and sing in the height of Zion, and shall flow unto the goodness of the Lord, to the corn, and to the wine, and to the oil, and to the young of the flock, and of the herd. And their soul shall be as a watered garden, and they shall not pine any more at all. Then shall the virgin rejoice in the dance, and the young men and the old together. For I will turn the mourning into the joy, and I will comfort them, and make them rejoice from their sorrow. And I will satiate the soul of the priest with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord, A voice is heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping, Rachel weeping for her children. She refuses to be comforted for her children, because they are not. Thus saith the Lord, Refrain your voice from weeping, and your eyes from tears, for your work shall be rewarded, saith the Lord, and they shall come back from the land of the enemy. And there is hope for your future, saith the Lord, and your children shall return to their own border. I have surely heard Ephraim bemoaning himself. You have chastised me, and I was chastised, as a calf untrained. Turn you me, and I shall be turned, for you art the Lord my God. Surely after that I was turned, I repented, and after that I was instructed, I smote upon my thigh. I was ashamed, yes, even confounded, because I did bear the reproach of my youth. Is Ephraim a darling son unto me? Is he a child that is dandled? For as often as I speak of him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore my heart yearneth for him. I will surely have compassion upon him, saith the Lord. Set you up waymarks, make you guideposts, set your heart toward the highway, even the way by which you went. Return, O Virgin of Israel, return to these your cities. How long will you turn away coyly, O you backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall court a man. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. Yet again shall they use this speech in the land of Judah, and in the cities thereof. When I shall turn their captivity, the Lord bless you, O habitation of righteousness, O mountain of holiness. And Judah and all the cities thereof shall dwell therein together, the husbandmen and they that go forth with flocks. For I have satiated the weary soul, and every pining soul have I replenished. Upon this I awaked and beheld, and my sleep was sweet unto me. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man and with the seed of beast. And it shall come to pass that like as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to overthrow and to destroy and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith the Lord. In those days they shall say no more, The fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children's teeth are set on edge. But every one shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eateth the sour grapes, his teeth shall be set on edge. For behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. For as much as they broke my covenant, although I was a lord over them, saith the Lord. But this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts, and in their heart will I write it. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them even to the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and their sin will I remember no more. Thus saith the Lord, Who gives the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and the stars for a light by night? Who stirreth up the sea, that the waves thereof roar? The Lord of hosts is his name. If these ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Thus saith the Lord, If heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, then will I also cast off the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the city shall be built to the Lord, from the tower of Hananel unto the gate of the corner. And the measuring line shall yet go out straight forward into the hill of Garib, and shall turn about unto Goa. And the whole valley of the dead bodies, and of the ashes, and all the fields unto the brook of Kidron, unto the corner of the horse gate toward the east, shall be holy unto the Lord. It shall not be plucked up, nor thrown down any more forever. All right. Let's go back up to verse 1. We remember yesterday the word that was come to Jeremiah, and he was speaking to Israel and writing all the words down so that they would be here, that we would have them even later, these words that would stay, because this prophecy was going to last a little longer than Jeremiah was. God was declaring the day when he was going to turn his children and return them to the land which he gave to their fathers to possess. And we're going to find that God does this in measure. God corrects in measure. And that's how God wants you to turn, see, in measure. You can't turn suddenly. You have to turn just like we would turn a great group of people. This is how we have to turn. And God's done declared that he will be the God of all the families of the earth, all the families of Israel of the earth. And these are all those that he's scattered in all the earth. See, those are those that are scattered out, and God will turn in measure, as we will find out. We're going to pick this up in verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, and this is going to be verse 2 in the King James Version, because that last verse of the last chapter they have put over here. This shows that they're carrying up, so you can just skip to verse 2 and follow in order. Thus saith the Lord, the people that were left of the sword have found grace in the wilderness, even Israel, when I go to cause him to rest. And these that have escaped the sword, we're going to find out this was the punishment of God. This was when God was coming in punishing. Why? They had violated the law, so they got the other side of the law. They got the punishment from it. But they found grace in the wilderness, and the wilderness is this place where the words drive out, because they're going to find grace there, even Israel. Those are those that have fought with God, but we're going to find out. God is going to rule over them in the end. He already does. When I go to cause him to rest, or when I go to cause him to stop, because that's where he's going to make his turn, and there he's going to find rest too. From afar the Lord appeared unto me. Yes, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore with affection have I drawn you. An everlasting love is a love without end. See, a love that is going to go beyond one generation into the next, and into the next, and to the next. See, forever. A love, God has a love like this. We're going to find this is a love that a father has, because God is compared himself to a father. He wants to be a father. He's trying to teach you for your own good. See, not trying to rule over you like a lord. See, he's done. This don't work. God wants to be your fight. Keep these laws for your own good, he said. But they got the wrong idea. They had the wrong impression. 3. Again will I build you, and you shall be built, O Virgin of Israel. Again shall you be adorned with your tabrets, and shall go forth in the dances of them that make merry. Again shall you be built. Again is God going to establish this. Again, and you shall be built, God says. God done has declared this because his word is going to go forth. His word is the dividing, his law, the law of God. It divides, see, separates instantly from those that hear, from those that don't, from those that observe, from those that don't. It's an instant thing. This Virgin of Israel, why? Because she still has not brought forth. We are waiting for this, and when she does, this will be the great understanding even. 4. Again shall you plant vineyards upon the mountains of Samaria. The planter shall plant and shall have the use thereof. And these vineyards, these are the places where the grapes would be planted. This expected harvest of understanding is what this represents. And Samaria was that place that was bought from Shemer. It was the dregs. See, it was that place of dregs even. But God is going to make it like a new fertile field, even a fruitful place. 5. For there shall be a day that the watchman shall call upon the Mount of Ephraim. Mount Ephraim, arise you, and let us go up to Zion unto the Lord our God. For there shall be a day, and we're going to find out, there shall be a day that the watchman shall call upon the Mount Ephraim. This mount is that high place, that exalted place of Ephraim, those that double-fruited. These double-fruited, these that bared more than one fruit. We're going to find out why. The fruit that they bared, they had two different fruits. One, they served God. 2, but under an image. But there shall come a watchman, and he shall cry upon the Mount of Ephraim in this day with this understanding, and let us go up to Zion unto the Lord our God. Let us go up to that parched place unto the Lord our God. Let us go up to that example God made. See, God said it there. It's that Levitical priesthood. It's that place of the Levites where they occupied in Jerusalem. 6, for thus saith the Lord, sing with gladness for Jacob, and shout at the head of the nations. Announce you, praise you, and say, O Lord, save your people, the remnant of Israel. For thus saith the Lord, sing with gladness for Jacob. Sing and shout at the head of the nations. Announce you and praise you and say, save your people, the remnant of Israel, those ones that you have punished, those ones you have scattered out in all the earth. 7, behold, I will bring them from the north country and gather them from the uttermost parts of the earth, and with them the blind and the lame, the woman with child, and her that travaileth with child, together. A great company shall they return here. Behold, watch, look, listen, see. It's going to happen. I will bring them from the north country, this place of judgment, where God stored his wrath. See, that's where God scattered them out and sent them when Assyria come in and took them over. This was all similitudes of the prophecies to come. These are similitudes of the prophecies to come. God will gather them out of this place of judgment, from the uttermost parts of the earth, where he scattered them, we'll find out, with the blind and the lame. Those are unable to walk. Those are unable to choose the correct path. See, they've been lamed by the words of men, and with them the blind, those that cannot see, they cannot see these things. Their eyes have been daubed over. The woman with child, her that has went into a different understanding. See, a different understanding, because God's going to show himself mighty, that everybody can realize, hey, this is the work of God. And her that travaileth with child, her that getting ready to bring forth. A great company shall return here. Where? Jerusalem. That's what we're talking about, to that place of peaceful teachings. 8. They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by rivers of waters, in a straight way wherein they shall not stumble. For I am become a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. And they shall come with weeping and supplication, I will lead them. Why? They're crying because they're sorry. They're sorry for what they've done. Now they have understanding that God is mightier than all the mighty ones of all the earth. See, he has done a marvelous great work, actually showing himself in the earth without an image. I will cause them to walk by rivers of waters, he says. By rivers of waters. Even the waters that descend, even the waters that come down from the throne of God, these waters of understanding, they won't stumble. There's going to be understanding. See, there's no stumbling around. Why? We've took away all these words of men, raked them back, and we've prepared a highway. I have become a father to Israel. A father, see. Israel was his son. He said it in the beginning, I have called my son even out of Egypt, out of the land of enclosures, and he brought Israel forth. See, now, but Ephraim now is my firstborn, and what this is my grandson. See, he's my grandson. He's the first son of my son. And this is like my firstborn son, even, again. And Ephraim, that double-fruited, once again, God making an example. See, God's making an example. The book of Yasher kind of explains this when Ephraim exerts himself against Judah and shows he's going to be as powerful. But we'll find out, see, God is all-powerful. God has done this. God has made this second example in the earth. 9, hear the word of the Lord, O you nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Israel doth gather him and keep him, as a shepherd does his flock. God does these things. He is the one that scattered Israel. He called for the Assyrian. He called for the Babylonian. He called for the Asher. He called for the mighty ones in the host of heaven by name. He is the one that scattered, and he is the one that watches over as a shepherd does his flock. 10, for the Lord has ransomed Jacob, and he redeemeth him from the hand of him that is stronger than he. See, God is the one that sent you into captivity, and God is the one that redeems you from the hand of him that is stronger than you, from even the mighty one that he has set in the earth. God redeems. God has power. God sets these things up. When you transgress the law, you get the flip side of the coin. See, you get the other side. This is the punishment. But when you turn to the law, we're going to find out about the law, where it is, 11. They shall come and sing in the height of Zion, and shall flow unto the goodness of the Lord, to the corn, and to the wine, and to the oil, and to the young of the flock, and to the herd, and of the herd. And their soul shall be as a watered garden, and they shall not pine any more at all. And your soul shall be as a watered garden, like a garden rejoicing, your soul like a watered garden, because it is understanding has come. See, and you have understanding, even the understanding God was trying to achieve from beginning. I am God, he said, and there is no other. By my hand I do these things. They shall come and sing in the height of Zion, this parched place, as we're going to find out. See, God trying to teach his servant from the beginning. And shall flow unto the goodness of the Lord, to the corn, this is the harvest, even that end harvest. And to the wine, even that sweet wine from the harvest, that first wine that flows from the wine press, and the oil, this oil that comes from the law, this anointing oil that comes from the olive, that tree that represents the law of God, and to the young of the flock, and of the herd. Those that don't have no understanding, those that ain't been trained. See, those that never encountered God before in his magnificence and his strength. 12. Then shall the virgin rejoice in the dance, and the young men and the old together. For I will turn their mourning into joy, and I will comfort them, and make them rejoice from their sorrow. Then shall the virgin rejoice in the dance. Why? She ain't with child. She didn't have this any other understanding. This understanding flows within, and the young men, those that didn't have understanding, and those that did, see, together. Why? Because God has done a great and marvelous work, and he has performed these things. And I will turn their mourning into joy. Well, they thought, that they was going to be slain, but they, and live in captivity forever. And the prince of darkness thought that he might make them his servant forever. And those of darkness thought they might make them their prisoner forever. 13. And I will satiate the soul of the priest with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, saith the Lord. I will satisfy the soul of the priest with fatness. God will do these things. God will satisfy the soul of the priest with understanding, with the fatness, with the goodness that comes from the law, that which makes you healthy, that which makes you rich, that which gives you strength. And my people shall be satisfied with my goodness. Why? Because the priest, the Levites, these are the Levites. Those that God appointed. This has got to be according to the law, the law. Thus saith the Lord, a voice is heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping. Rachel weeping for her children. She refuses to be comforted for her children because they are not. A voice is heard in Ramah, this high place. We remember Ramah. Ramah was that high place, that place that was lifted up. See, that high place they made in Israel, a bitter weeping, Rachel weeping for her children. There's a crying going on. Rachel's that ewe lamb who has went astray. She's weeping for her children. Who was Rachel? Rachel was Jacob's wife. She was his second wife. He loved Rachel and he served for Rachel, and Laban tricked him. He got Leah, so he had to serve again for his wife. This would be Rachel, and she would have two children, and their names would be Joseph and Benjamin. A gift, the work of God's hands. Joseph would be sent into Egypt, and of course that's a whole nother story. We're going to get into that, but he was sent there for a purpose. And Rachel's weeping for her children. Joseph has two tribes. There's Manasseh and Ephraim. Manasseh, those that cause to forget, and Ephraim, the double-fruited, those that have they serve God, but in the name of a Malcolm, and they have gone astray. She's weeping for her children because they have been taken. 15. Thus saith the Lord, refrain your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears, for your work shall be rewarded, saith the Lord, and they shall come back from the land of the enemy. For they've been taken in confusion, and they've gone off into captivity. This is Israel. This would be, because God was making an example. Even that which he was doing with the kings was that which he was doing with Israel. He had done scattered Israel and Judah. We was down to them. Now we split them up with the kings. This is all similitudes. Even the same thing. Two parallel stories are working together. 17. I have surely heard Ephraim bemoaning himself. You have chastised me, and I was chastised as a calf untrained. Turn you me, and I will be turned, for you art the Lord my God. I have surely heard Ephraim, the double-fruited, these double-fruited. You have chastised me. I was chastised as a calf untrained, like somebody that didn't have no understanding. I've never pulled the plow before, he said. Turn you me, and I shall be turned, for you art the Lord my God. He's felt the sting of the whip of God. He has never encountered God before. But he went off on his own, thought he would make a way, and we find out now the Lord has punished him even. God's turning him. God's turning him. See what? In understanding. This is understanding he's turning in. 18. Surely after that I was turned, I repented. And after that I was instructed, I smote upon my thigh. I was ashamed, yes, even confounded, because I did bear the reproach of my youth. I bear the reproach of my youth. Why? I was ignorant, he said. I was stupid. I was young and dumb. And now I've learned. I've turned. I repented. I've seen the error of my way. For there is but one God, and you are my God, he said. 19. Is Ephraim a darling son unto me? Is he a child that is dandled? For as often as I speak of him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore my heart yearneth for him. I will surely have compassion upon him, saith the Lord. Is Ephraim a darling son unto me? Is he a child that is dandled? Is he a child that ain't played with on the knee, saith the Lord? It's like a grandfather playing with his child. He's done this in compassion. See, in compassion, this judgment that he has put. 20. Set you up waymarks, make you guideposts, set your heart toward the highway, even the way by which you went. Return, O Virgin of Israel, return to these your cities. O Virgin of Israel, why? She's still yet to bring forth this virgin daughter of Zion, this Jerusalem, the true word, these teachings of peace that are to go forth and conquer all the earth, destroy all the idols off the earth. See, that's what we're talking about. Set you up waymarks, make you guideposts. You're lost. You're lost. Set you up waymarks, ways to mark your path, to say, surely I've been around this circle before. Set your heart toward the highway. Set your heart toward the highway, even the way by which you went. See, this was the way where they went by the word of God. See, they thought they was by the word of God, but God done this. God has done a magnificent work. 21. How long will you turn away coyly, O you backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall court a man. How long will you turn away coyly, you backsliding daughter? Like coyly is with, like you're deceiving somebody, like you're getting away with it and nobody knows. Oh, you backsliding daughter, this backsliding, this you one step forward and 2 steps back, you can't get nowhere. For the Lord has created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall court a man. A woman that from man, that's what woman means, from man. And what comes from man? These words, see, and from that understanding. This is what the woman is. And this understanding shall court a man, not a man looking for understanding no more, but understanding looking for a man. 22. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, yet again shall they use this speech in the land of Judah and in the cities thereof, when I shall turn their captivity. The Lord bless you, O habitation of righteousness, O mountain of holiness. And they will use this speech again. What speech? Understanding's looking for you. Understanding the law of God. See, that was your knowledge. That was your understanding. That was your wisdom. And it's looking for you. When I shall turn their captivity. When I shall turn their captivity. When I shall, saith the Lord, turn their captivity, because they are still in the captivity of their ignorance. They still go forth, breaking the law constantly, having no understanding of the law, therefore not being able to keep it. Sin continues, and the earth is degraded, and the inhabitants thereof. The Lord bless you, O habitation of righteousness, O habitation of judgment, O high place set aside of this hallowed place. See, this place where God comes to set his judgment, even this place, this Jerusalem, this place of peaceful teaching, see, God's going to keep coming back. He's going to keep parching it. 23, and Judah and all the cities thereof shall dwell therein together, the husbandmen and they that go forth with flocks. And these are simply those that teach the flocks, that have understanding, those that watch, these shepherds that are good shepherds, not these shepherds that we've been talking about, these ones that are going out teaching lies and for gain. Books full of stories about them, and this is what led them astray in the first place. For I have satisfied the weary soul, and every pining soul have I replenished. For I have satisfied the weary soul, saith the Lord. He has poured out, he has put it there, he has set it forth. And every pining soul, these that weep, these that mourn, this soul that thirsts, this soul that hungers, wanting to know God, no one has understanding, no one teaching the law, no one pouring out understanding. 25, upon this I awaked and beheld, and my sleep was sweet unto me. Has it been a dream? No, it has not been a dream. I awaked, my soul understood, and beheld. I didn't even know I was asleep. I didn't even know I was asleep. But it was the sound of truth. It was the sound of understanding, the sound of the law. My eyes hearing it. I could see the punishment of God in the earth. 26, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man and with the seed of beast. Behold, watch, look, see, now this understanding's coming, saith the Lord. And I will sow the house of Israel. I will sow the house of Israel. I will send understanding into those that have contended with me. The house of Judah, those of praisings, with the seed of man, the seed of beast. 27, and it shall come to pass that like as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to overthrow and to destroy and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith the Lord. Just like God's been doing. He's been watching over them for one purpose, watching over them for judgment, watching over them because of why? Their transgressions. See, it's because of their transgressions. But when there's understanding comes, see that God has done this in the earth, declaring himself by the marvelous work that his strength has performed. His word went forth and his strength done it. 28, in those days shall they say no more, the fathers have eaten sour grapes and the children's teeth are set on edge. No more. And these sour grapes, sour grapes are come from just not knowing when to pick the grape. This means you don't know when to harvest a grape. You've ate a sour grape, it wasn't ready. That grape wasn't ready. That grape needed to sit on the vine a little longer. That grape needed to ripen a little more. And the children's teeth are set on edge. Father couldn't eat a sour grape and set the children's teeth on edge anyway, see? And what this was a similitude was, you can't blame a son for what his father's done. You never could blame a son for what his father's done. This was written from the beginning, see, as we're going to find out. 29. But every one shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eats the sour grapes, his teeth shall be set on edge. And every man, every one, shall die for his own perversions, his own iniquity, his own sins. See, this is what the truth is. It's been this way from the beginning. There is nothing going to change. See, every man's going to die for his own sins. But the one that will turn from his sin, that soul shall live. 30. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. I will make a new covenant, saith the Lord. I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. See, God's going to make a new covenant. What's that new covenant? 31, not according to the covenant that I made with your fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, for as much as they broke my covenant, although I was a Lord over them, saith the Lord. See, not according to the covenant that I made with your fathers in the day that I took them out of the land of Egypt. See, but is it? See, we go back to Deuteronomy, we'll find it's the same covenant he made back then, but he's just circumcised your heart. See, before, see, the flesh was circumcised, but now when the heart is circumcised and the whole understanding, see, not like those who are circumcised in their uncircumcision. See, it's to be circumcised in your uncircumcision. You may be circumcised in the flesh, but not in the heart. Or you may be circumcised in the heart and not in the flesh. But either way, you're circumcised in your uncircumcision. You're one way or the other. See, the sword done that. That was the law of God that did that. But now you've circumcised both. This was the little addition to the covenant. Like God said, I will circumcise your heart. 32, but this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, after that understanding's past, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts, and in their heart will I write it. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. See, before, see, God was like the mighty one that was ruling over you. Now he's going to be like your father. He will be your God, and they shall be my people, he said. I'm going to put my law in your inward parts, in your heart, and I will write it. See, that's a little bit of difference there, because, see, what's going to happen is there's going to be a joy in keeping the law, because this law was given you for your own good. It's instruction. It's like twice you've been punished, and now you have understanding. See, once you've been punished in the flesh, the other time you was punished in the spirit. Now there's understanding at both. 33, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and their sin will I remember no more. No more teaching every man his neighbor. It's not necessary. Never was. And every man his brother, saying, Ain't no more of this going on. We don't need it. Know the Lord, they say. Know the Lord. Come, know the Lord. How? If you knew the Lord, we would not have this problem we have today. See, if you knew the Lord and could turn, knew the law of God, knew who God was and how he worked through the judgment, then you could say these things. But that's not the case we have. See, God's going to forgive your iniquity. God's going to give your trespasses. God's going to give your perversions, your distortions of his word. The sin will I remember no more. God done these things. God put it in your heart. God put it in your soul that you should abide in the law. It's understanding, and when you hear it, you know it. 34, Thus saith the Lord, who gives the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon, of the stars for a light by night? Who stirs up the sea, the waves thereof roar? The Lord of hosts is his name. Thus saith the Lord, who gives the sun for a light by day? Who done this? Who give the greater light for understanding to rule over the day? Those of light. And the ordinances of the moon, and the stars for a light by night. This was the lesser light that was set to rule over the night. See, that mighty one that God has set over to rule all the nations, these of darkness. Not like those ones of understanding, those of light, those of the day, who God made. Who stirs up the sea, that the waves thereof roar? Who stirs up the sea? The sea, those people. Who can cause the seas to roar? Who caused the multitudes to roar? Who does these things? It's the Lord. 35, If these ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. When the sun's gone and the moon's gone, That's when Israel will be gone. 36. Thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, then I will also cast off the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. And if you can search out all the heavens and the earth, God will cast away Israel and his seed. And what this means is these things you cannot do. God has set the boundaries of it. Though the waves crash against it, they cannot prevail. See, for God has set the boundaries thereof. 37. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the city shall be built to the Lord from the tower of Hananel unto the gate of the corner. And this tower of Hananel, a little different than Hananiah. See, it's a little different because what it is instead of the favorite of God, it's the favorite of the mighty one. Unto the gate, this tower of the mighty one, this high place, even this place for watching for, this watching place of the mighty one, this one even that God has set up, unto the gate of the corner. That's the gate of the turning place. That's where you turn. That's the corner, see. It don't go straight no more. It turns here and goes that way. 38, and the measuring line shall yet go out straight forward unto the hill of Garib, and shall turn about into Goah, or goeth. And this measuring line shall go out. This measuring line goes out straight forward. See, it's like stretching a string out, making straight that path, that way we're going to lay it out, like we're going to mark it out for something. It's a measuring line, a judgment even. It's a set way unto the hill of Garib. And the hill of Garib is that itchy place. See what it is? You itchy and all scratchy. Why? Well, there's a scab. It's a wound that's healing. See? It's a wound healing. And it shall turn about into Goah. And Goah is that place that they bellow. That place where they cry out. It's like a cow bellowing out in the field. And that is what it is. It's that place where they cry out. 39. And the whole valley of the dead bodies and of the ashes and all the fields unto the brook Kidron, unto the corner of the horse gate toward the east, shall be holy unto the Lord. It shall not be plucked up nor thrown down any more forever. And the valley, the valley, always that crack. See that gorge made of the dead bodies, these that don't understand, these that don't have understanding, these that are in the valley of death, and of the ashes, those that were burnt. See, those that were devoured by the fire of idolatry, and all the fields unto the brook of Kidron, that brook of Kidron, those waters of darkness, those waters of mourning. See, that's what Kidron means. You got Kedar, that dark morning, and then you got Kidron. That's like a lot of mourning. Unto the corner of the horse gate, toward the east, and this horse gate where they used to bring the horses in from where the armies would bring their horses in. That's toward the east, towards the understanding, the rising of the sun, where these battles have ended. They shall be holy unto the Lord. It shall not be plucked up nor thrown down any more forever. They're hallowed and they're set aside. Why? The understanding has come. These things aren't needed no more. We don't have to make war. We don't have to fight. Why? Well, the Lord has conquered all. See, the Lord has subdued all the nations. The Lord has brought understanding into all the earth by his marvelous great work. Turn and return. Let's move to chapter 32.